My father, he thinks I'm insane.
From the writers of Lost and the creators of Once Upon a Time.
You claimed you traveled to this place, Wonderland. You fell in love with the genie.
I'm gonna find him.
She's not the Alice you thought you knew.
I sense that you can take care of yourself.
Thursday, the search for her lost love begins.
All right, Rabbit, dig your hole.
Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. Series premiere Thursday at 8, 7 Central. Followed by an all-new Grey's Anatomy and Scandal on ABC.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Arrow After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Arrow After Show.
Ooh. Buenos noches, aloha, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV. Bing is for doing, and tonight we are doing the season 2 premiere of Arrow. I am one of your hosts, Alikona Bradford, and sitting next to me is the very brilliant and returning.
Kelly, hello. Thank you.
You like the intro? It's nice.
Nice, very nice.
If you notice, we are too short, but that's okay because we're still ready to break it down. So, following my wonderful dance, Kelly is gonna break down and bring us up to speed from last season.
Oh my gosh. So, as all of you remember, last season was the season finale was epic. It was crazy. There was explosions, you know, an unexpected death that we were all pretty much tortured over. So, Myra comes clean, goes to holds a press conference, confesses everything, confesses that Merlin is the one behind, you know, the takedown and I'm sorry, the undertaking. The undertaking.
Yes.
And
Oliver's
unfortunately,
shirtless.
Of course, which is the best part, as always. But, you know, Oliver and Laurel reconnect. Tommy sees them. He's heartbroken. And the hood cannot stop the blast for the explosion from happening and taking down the Glades. And unfortunately, Tommy gets caught and gets taken down too. And, you know, we lose Tommy, which I was personally very shocked.
I was gonna say, I was so certain that he was going to continue on his father's legacy, which I'm a little wondering because they had made mention that his father, Malcolm, is also passed away as well too. But I'm wondering if somehow he's gonna resurface. I don't know if he.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't believe that that's the end of him.
Me neither.
I can't believe that. I'd be very surprised if it is, if they completely go away from that. But I mean, we'll see.
Right.
But it was crazy. I was really interested to see how the season was going to start out, if it was going to come back strong, and I was very, very happy that it did.
Yes.
It did not. It lived up to my expectations. It came back hard. It came back good, and I liked seeing Oliver a little messed up this time around. He's shaken.
Well, yeah, of course.
But handling it the way somebody would. You know
It's
what
real.
I mean?
It's very real.
Yes, it was a very real reaction. The only thing I didn't understand is, he lost his best friend. I get it. His best friend, accused him of being a murderer right before he died. He saw him hooking up with his girlfriend. It was just bad all the way around.
Right.
And he's not there anymore to kind of make it up to him. And that messes with you mentally.
Right.
But to go back to the island.
First of all, how did you find the island?
Exactly.
I mean, I guess you're boy wonder and genius right now after all of your experiences, so you can navigate your way back. But it was disappointing because when I think of Oliver and I think of the hood, I think of somebody who's very strong inside and out. So for him to be that shaken that he, in a sense, withdraws, and I say he kind of gave up. Because that's what you do. I mean, he disappeared and went away instead of just facing the music and dealing with everything. He totally took 10 steps back.
Well, it really humanized him. It brought him down, and it made him reassess exactly what he was doing. Because he had this list. It turned out to be, they were all in on it. So was he really avenging his father? What was really going on? Because his father was really in on it, then felt bad about it. So he was kind of cleaning up his father's mess, really.
Right.
Not necessarily avenging him. And I think he came to realize that the mission that he thought he was on was not at all the mission that he was actually on.
No. I think this season is really going to be about him maturing as the Arrow, as we found out towards the end, but
Yes.
just as a hero in general, you could see with his shift in his attitude and taking a new direction.
Yeah, I mean, it goes with the title of the episode, "The City of Heroes,"
Right.
which is great because we kind of see that coming out in him. It's not all about just being angry anymore. It's about really trying to figure out what it is he's doing.
Right.
You know, when he finally decides to, you know, kind of get it together. But of course, you know, Felicity and Diggle can't leave him on that
Yes,
island. They can't
yes,
do it.
Love it. Love
They
it. Because
spend all this time. They track him down. They find him.
I am going to say, because everybody, if you guys watch AfterBuzz from last season, you know that I am a fan of Oliver and Felicity.
No, I can't.
love them. Oh my God, she is so quirky and so cute, and I fell in love with her all over again this season. I'll probably repeat some of her little one-liners, but my favorite is when he swooped down and got her, and she's like, "Oh, you're sweaty." You know you like that sweat.
She's adorable. I love her character. Those two together, no. I can't do it. I
What?
can't. I
Yes.
don't want to see it happen.
I love it.
No.
Go team. What are they calling him? Olicity? Hashtag. Trend it now. Let's tell the
No.
writers. They've been listening to us. Me and you. They've been listening to us fans, okay?
I don't like it.
Well,
I
it's
kind of
gonna
want to. I
happen.
kind of want to see her and Diggle get together. That's kind of what I want to see. I don't know.
That's too, but in
I
a
feel like
sense-
she's too goofy and quirky to be with Oliver. It's just like that doesn't make
But
sense.
see,
to me.
okay, for me that's relatable because that's team high school. Like you, at one point, I don't care how popular or how cool you were, there was always a boy that was cooler, and you just acted so stupid every time you came into his presence.
But if he's
and-
maturing this season, that is not a good way to go.
well, she matured too. You know what? Her hair was not in a ponytail.
That's
okay,
true.
it was down.
Okay, we'll see as the season progresses if I change my mind. I don't know.
Anyways,
I don't know.
speaking of islands and whatnot, let's talk about rabbit holes. too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So tomorrow, season
Yes.
premiere of Once Upon a Time in Wonderland.
Yes.
I'm a huge Once Upon a Time fan. I love fantasy, and it goes right along with my, you know, characters and superheroes and all
Yes.
of that. So I'm excited to see this new show.
I love Disney. So if you guys get a chance, it's going to be Thursday at 8 p.m. on ABC tomorrow. And the premise thus far that we know is that Alice is in love with the genie from Aladdin, and her dad is like, no, no, no.
But we get to see Jafar. We get to see the
Evil Red Queen.
Yes, the evil Red Queen, the Queen of Hearts.
And the graphics that I saw thus far on some of the previews are pretty amazing.
One of my favorites is John Lithgow as the White Rabbit.
Yes!
That's amazing. I think that's
Love.
great casting. Love, love, love it.
So-
and it's from the creators of Lost and
Right.
obviously Once Upon
Right.
a Time. So it should be a good story. But I like how they intertwine all the different fairy tales into
Exactly.
one. So that's going to be kind of fun to see. Because this Alice, everybody thinks she's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
So
But she's grown up and she's a fighter. I like that. Strong, independent woman.
dangerous and mysterious
Yes.
journeys, all kinds of crazy stuff. And if you watch Once Upon a Time, then you know I'm sure that it's going to be kind of the same premise with all these crazy adventures that these kids get themselves into.
Right. So like Kelly said, if you like fantasy, which obviously we do, we watch Arrow, you'll probably like this one too.
Yep, I'm excited for it. And it comes on, again, we said tomorrow, October 10th is the premiere on ABC, and it's before Grey's Anatomy, I believe.
Yes.
So, and then there's going to be an after show as well. So you can watch the Wonderland after show, and then you can watch our Grey's Anatomy after show after.
That's right. Go, Kelly. Double shows.
Double
So
plug.
going back to the island, we got to reunite with Slade Wilson again, and I think I kind of forgot how much I liked him.
Oh, I love him.
I was like, okay, I'm sorry, boys. So sorry. I know you really don't care, but in my notes it says sexy, sexy. I was like, oh, but he made mention. You could see his jealousy with Shadow. Did you notice that?
Yes.
It was being very apparent.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's interesting. I want to see, and they teased this last season too, kind of the relationship with Oliver and Shadow. Like they're making out, so we know that there is one. But how deep it goes, we don't know, or how
Right.
long it lasts, or if she makes it back with him in the beginning. We just haven't seen her yet. Like, what is her
Right.
whole role in this?
I feel like she didn't make it back with him, because why would they not be together? Unless
I mean, I don't know. That's
Oh,
yet
I
to
don't
that.
know.
That's what I guess that's
Yeah.
what we'll find out. Because they, in this episode, they kept flashing back in small,
Right.
in just little small spurts, so we could see a little bit of, as Oliver is progressing into this like vigilante type character. He's fighting, like learning how to fight. He's learning,
he's learning how to rock people.
Yes. Yes.
Let's just
Shadow-
Let's
I
just
know.
wrap up the island and talk about this.
Shadow gets kidnapped and he goes crazy.
With a rock. It was
Not
awesome.
even, that's what I was telling you when we were watching it. Doesn't even take the knife. He picks up a rock and beats this guy to death. Blood splatter all on his face.
He was angry.
He was.
He
Don't
didn't
take
know
his
what to do,
woman.
right?
He was not having it.
Anyways,
Didn't even wait for the cue. He just
right,
went after
right.
them.
But when he does come back from the island and he does actually come back to reality, they finally convince him
Well,
to
they
come
trick
home.
him, kind of.
Well, they use the whole family thing.
He doesn't want to be the vigilante anymore. Doesn't want to do
No,
that kind of work. He's
done.
over it. He's
Spent.
done with it. He's not going to come and try to, take back the city or any of that crap. He's over it.
But we know that Oliver has a heart. So as soon as, I don't remember if it was Felicity or Diggle that made mention, I think it was Felicity, of all the people who are going to lose their jobs as soon as this Isabel chick comes and takes everything over. And I think that's what tugged at his heartstrings and made him go, okay, I need to pull this company back together.
Well, and
for
then
my
his mom's
family.
in prison. His sister's on her own.
Right.
He needs to go and kind of see what's going on there. He can't just completely run away.
Right.
So that brings him back, but he absolutely doesn't want to get back into the vigilante business. And he's really kind of, a jerk about it. Like he's
he's just
kinda
adamant,
is.
I
He's
think.
just,
Stubborn.
he's very brash and really like, I'm not going to do that. Don't, it's
Right.
not going to happen.
Speaking of little sister, she grew up a lot.
Yeah, she did.
Looking cute and orange.
Why was everybody in orange?
I don't know.
Orange
That's
is
an
a big
observation
color
I did
tonight.
not make. But it was nice to see. He even made mention of the fact that she had her life together. I think having to be put in a position to take over everything made her grow up a little bit too.
Yeah, because now she's running the club.
And Roy's running all over the place, trying to be a wannabe vigilante.
Yes, he is getting himself in trouble, which she's, doesn't want him to do. But she's also really struggling with her mom being in
Yes.
prison and the feelings that she has toward that. Because in the beginning of the episode, she wants nothing to do with her. She's very angry and upset by what she did and the part that she played, and is just not ready to see her.
I love Thea, but when is Thea not angry?
That's true. Poor
You
kid.
know?
Think about it.
Well, she's a
been through enough,
teenager.
Yeah.
No offense, because we were all teenagers too.
Of
But
course.
sometimes you go through that. You're confused and lost and
And
angry at
I
the
think
world.
hers is probably times 5, times
Yeah.
10 of anything that anybody can really relate to. So it's I'm glad that she's taking it as well as she is. I mean, it could have gone a different way, and she's trying to keep it together as much as she can, but she's being stubborn. The only way she knows how to hurt her mom is just to not see her.
But I like that Roy was her voice of reason.
Yes, I thought that was really cute.
Well, it's cute. I also like that she had made mention, and it was in a different conversation later on in the show, but he was trying to start a conversation to persuade her. And she had made mention, don't forget I control your paycheck and your sex life.
Yes,
So
she
that's
is in
right.
control. But it shows a lot about his character too, because he seemed to be in the last season so selfish and so much all about himself. And obviously, as we're seeing that he's trying to be this vigilante, he's not that.
Right.
But also the way he talks about his parents, and no matter how wrong they were, he would still like to see them. And he's trying to make that point to her that you don't, you still have your mother. You don't want to be like that because it's hurting you more than you think it is.
Right.
Which was just kind of shows where he is and shows like where his head's at. And I like seeing that.
Right.
Because we get to know him a little bit more.
But aside from him being a vigilante, then you got these 4 people running amok, totally misinterpreting the point of being a hood.
Yes.
And then going around in the hood's name. And what irritated me is that they used his line. Do you know what I mean? Every time you have failed the city. And the cherry on the cake was when they were going to get Oliver, obviously not knowing Oliver is the original hood, and using his own line against him. Oliver
Yes.
Queen, you have failed the city.
And that
Be
deep
quiet.
voice.
Go away.
And they have
Please.
basically the same outfits except they have guns instead of an arrow.
But see, to me, that's the wuss way out.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes skill to shoot a gun. Don't get me wrong. I probably suck at it. But you have a gun. You're going to kill somebody. To me, the arrow himself, now the arrow, has so much more skill. He requires so much more mental focus, but at the same time, physically being able to actually fight people.
Right.
I think of that as being more of a man.
And it seems in that group of these wannabe hoods, there's only one real person that was
Angry.
That was in the military, so had
Oh.
like real skilled
True.
training. And the other guys are just angry and hurt by the losses that they faced, and which is understandable, but they're definitely going about it in the wrong way.
Right.
And they're terrorizing the city even worse rather than trying to make things better.
So did you and did anybody else at home find it ironic that these people all met at church?
Support group.
Doesn't
It was a
matter. It
support
was in a
group.
church. And now they're running around killing people in the justice. And that's the thing, too, is their version of justice is killing anybody that's affiliated with the Queen family because Queen Consolidated was involved in creating these machines that shook up
Well, it's that mentality is I want you to feel the pain that I feel. That's what they're going through. Is they're still grieving. They're not really understanding. I mean, because you find out this is only 5 months later. 5 months really isn't that long of a time to deal with the losses that we find out that they've lost. You know, wives, sisters, all of this. So they're not dealing with it well. So their grieving process is I want you to feel what I felt. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you feel that too. And they just don't get it.
Because that makes the world a better place.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's just not, it's not okay. And when Oliver started out, he kind of had that same mentality.
True, very true.
And then he had to kind of evolve and progress and really figure it out. And that's what we're going to see this season is that he's even, evolving even that much more.
Now, let me ask you, Kelly. What was your opinion on Isabel?
Not my favorite character ever.
No,
not at all. Too cold, no feeling like whatsoever. Too much of a smartass, really. Like it didn't translate well. I didn't like her character at all. I didn't feel like it was a push and pull. I feel like there could have been better banter between them. It would have been nice to kind of see. It was just so like cut off. There was no feeding. I didn't feel like they had good chemistry at all.
I didn't either. I feel like, and bless her heart as an actress, because I respect anybody in their craft. However, I will say this. I felt like there was not a lot of motivation behind her lines, if that makes sense. I understand that you're supposed to be cut dry and you're a bitch. However, there's a way of doing it and being evil as you do it in the ways that Moira was able to do it when she communicated with Malcolm, whereas this just felt like there was an absence or like, it was very lackluster.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely very empty. There was didn't seem to be any kind of personality behind it. And I know that maybe that was the point of it. It just didn't translate well to me anyway. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I concur.
Yeah, definitely. Go to iTunes. Don't forget. iTunes, rate, download. It's free.
Comments.
Let us know on YouTube as well. Let us know what you thought about this new Isabel character because apparently we're going to be seeing a lot of more of her.
Yeah.
So we'll see kind of how she.
I feel like, because they're partners now.
Now they're partners. Yes. So she was trying to come and take over the company. And as Myra said, she is not to be trusted. So we may see her become more of a villain maybe. And maybe that's why she's coming across that way to not give you anything because it could be a surprise later, which could totally work.
Right.
We don't know yet, which would kind of be fun to see and evolve that character that way. But now they are partners. They have equal stock.
Right.
So now they're going to have to work together because Walter came.
I was going to say, all that came about.
I know.
I did not foresee Walter coming, to be honest with you. That totally threw me for a loop.
Well, even when Myra told him, you have family, I didn't even think of him. I was like, who? Does he have a brother? I know. Is there another kid somewhere? Like, who are they going to? And then when I saw him walking, I was like, oh, duh.
Because I was like, does Thea have money stashed away?
Right.
She's been dealing, really.
No, I was really pleasantly surprised by that. I was glad to see him come back. And especially in the way that he did, which was great.
He came back with class.
Definitely.
And he separated what happened with him and Moira from the kids, which is what a real man does.
Absolutely. I really like seeing that. And I really hope that he's going to help kind of make their family stronger and bring them back together in a positive way.
Yeah.
And help with Oliver's kind of maturing and growing up.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Speaking of family, let's just talk about how Thea got herself abducted. It wasn't really her fault.
No, it
absolutely
absolutely was not
one.
her fault. Because he's too big for his britches and thought he could take them on and,
1 versus
4. He tried.
Yeah.
He gave it a good effort.
But you know what? That was so purposeful. That moment was so monumental, not even just for the story itself, but for Thea's character, for her to actually realize and admit to herself that her mother was not at fault when she was held captive, to actually say, like, she had that epiphany. My mom must have been so scared of Malcolm.
Yeah.
And it's true. She actually was.
Yeah, he killed her father and
every a billion other people,
right?
heartlessly.
But then they thought that that he killed her brother.
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, what else could she do?
That's true.
So she had a better understanding of it, which was good to see.
And it was also a great moment because it forced Oliver to quit being so gosh darn stubborn and get back into the suit.
Yes, into this new layer that's been upgraded with a customized bow and everything.
Go, Felicity. See? I'm telling you, Felicity. She did that for her boo.
She did.
She had a crush on him, which is why she went the extra mile.
And why she left that one machine where he does the pull-ups.
Yes, that was my favorite part. She's like, I really like watching you do that. Yes, me too. Amen.
We all do.
Sorry, boys.
Hopefully he'll be doing it again next episode.
Right.
No, but that was really cute, and she definitely upgraded everything. She, you know, she knew he'd be back eventually. It might take a little bit of persuasion, but he would be back. And now they kind of have a whole new outlook on what they're going to do. He wants to go a different way. He doesn't want to kill people anymore.
Right.
So he wants to do things and honor Tommy.
So I have a question for you, Kelly, and maybe you can answer this for me. Officer Lance, who is now an officer and not a detective, was that a demotion?
Yes.
And why? Where did I
Because
forget?
remember when he defied his boss last season because of his relationship with the Hood? Like he went behind their back and still like did that whole thing when they were trying to find the bomb.
Yeah, but didn't his efforts help prevent something?
Yeah, but he still, like, I think he had quit or that had happened, or he did something when he left to try to go get the bomb. I can't remember exactly. I'm going to have to rewatch it back, but maybe you guys can, you know, refresh our memory. But he did something that he wasn't supposed to and was, like, hiding the fact that he was communicating with the Hood they found out or something like that. And he definitely was demoted.
Because I did notice when Laurel was held at gunpoint and he shows up and he's questioning her, the other gentleman that was in charge kind of talked down to him a little bit. Like, you know what? As a father, you're cool, but as an officer, you're dismissed. Peace. Yeah,
because I think there was a little bit of a confrontation there because he definitely just, you know, disregarded, you know, what he was told in the last season, which is why I think he is in the place that he's at now.
Right.
And didn't, I mean, I thought he had completely lost his job, but apparently not. So I'm going to have to go back and watch that last episode and refresh my memory on exactly why.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely demoted. He is no longer a detective.
And now Laurel is with the DA.
Yes. Laurel is now with the DA.
And ready to go get the Hood. Like, no!
Wearing orange all day. What's up with the orange?
Okay, but see, here's the thing. I feel like this is prediction territory, but not really because I'm not ready to go into that just yet. But I will say her motive being that she's going to go after the vigilante, I think that's going to cause even more distance, even though they've already basically decided in this episode that her and Oliver are no more because of the guilt about Tommy. And I think there's so much emphasis on guilt for him. But at the end of the day, if he didn't die, you wouldn't have felt guilty. You would have felt guilty for sleeping with each other and what have you, you know?
Yeah.
Either way, so they decided they're going to be in each other's lives and they're going to be friends.
And I think it's kind of a cop-out on her end because I think, I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't think it's going to last very long. I think she's
going to last. They are going to be separate and Felicity is going to jump in there and do her thing. She's going to romance.
I don't know how long, but it's going to last. But I get it that she feels guilty, but
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me.
I think the guilt comes from the fact that while she was involved with Tommy, there was still an underlying attraction to Oliver, and she's holding to all that. It's like the totality.
And not only that, but
everything.
with the Hood, remember?
Yes.
She had, even though we know it's the same person, but she doesn't.
Maybe. This is my weird, twisted theory, but you know how, this could just be me, but when somebody passes away, they always talk about how so-and-so is watching over you and what have you. I feel like that could also bring on a whole lot more guilt because if she were to pursue things with Oliver, technically in a sense, you are dishonoring your ex-boyfriend. And now he's watching you and seeing you dishonor him, which makes you feel even more guilty.
Could be.
That's me reaching.
It could be something that's going on in her head, definitely.
That's what will be going on in my head.
She has to come to terms with all of that. Pretty soon they'll be back together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe at the end of the season. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon.
No, I don't think it'll be soon, but I don't know.
Which leaves room for potentially a new love interest for her, maybe?
Could be. I think he needs to kind of be by himself for a second. Get it together. Figure out what he's going to do. Focus on the company. Focus on the Arrow. And, leave these crazy girls alone.
Right. I want to know what's going to happen with Diggle and his relationship, because we were talking about in the viewing, we couldn't remember if him and his brother's wife ended their little... They did. At the end, I think they decided it was no more.
Yeah, they did. So that's kind of why I want to see him kind of move on with, with a new love interest. Yes. I want to see a little bit more of his storyline expand.
Yes.
And not just being the sidekick.
I feel like he and Felicity are going to be a lot more involved in whatever happens in the future as far as with the Arrow, which let's talk about that. How all of a sudden now he is the Arrow and not the vigilante.
Because he has a different outlook. Now he wants to be a hero. Before it wasn't about being a hero. It was about revenge.
Right.
So this is a completely different,
doing
take,
things
and now
different.
he is absolutely doing things. He wants to honor Tommy. He wants to be the man that Tommy always thought he was.
Right.
So he wants to do the right thing. He doesn't want to murder people in cold blood. He really wants to. You know, it's not like kill or be killed anymore.
Right.
So
that was exactly what he said, too.
yeah. So now
Different,
it's all
that's the
different.
island mentality.
Yes, and now he's got to be. You know, he wants to be a hero. He wants to have a hero's mentality.
Right.
So now, the era or the hood, no more hood.
Right.
I mean, the hood is, you know, it's like somebody that's hiding, somebody, you know, that's in the shadows and all of that. So I don't think that's what he wants to be anymore. He wants to be the hero.
Right. Which he even had interaction with Lance. Detective Lance. No, I want to say detective.
Yeah.
He's Officer Lance now. But at the very end, how Officer Lance was like, wait a minute. I'm used to, I don't remember the exact verbiage he said, but something along the lines of I'm used to basically your victims coming.
Oh, being more dead, a little bit more dead.
Yeah, I was just saying
Yeah.
the body bag. Whoa, off. But yeah, and then he says, well, I'm doing things differently now.
But I like that he still has the eyeshadow. Digging
Yes. Yes, exactly the same. It hasn't changed at all.
it. No, and I don't want his costume to change. I wonder if
do.
they'll tweak it. I kind of like it.
I want an upgrade.
Well, I want him to have like cooler gadgets and stuff, but I still like the green eyeshadow.
Oh, see, and I
'cause
want him to have
it's
a cool mask. It is funny, but at the same time, from a logistic point of view, it's a lot easier to like slap some glue on a mask and put it on your face. I'm still wondering how he
Everybody
had
has a
time.
mask. Come on,
Okay,
he
but-
puts on makeup.
Dude, when does he have time to pull out his makeup brush and his compact and be like, let me just put some green and then I have some black stripes like this?
Because he's got it like that.
Oh, is that what happens
That's what
when you're a
happens.
hero?
Mhm.
You just,
All of a sudden.
right. Yeah, I would like to see some really cool makeup, actually. I would like to see Felicity maybe, I don't know, help with the new costume. You know,
I mean,
when
well,
she-
she's already upgrading his gadgets.
Exactly.
So, you know, that could be the next step.
like, he could be like Go-Go Gadget Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you know, Gadget.
Yeah.
You know where I was going with that.
I do. I got you.
Because since she's so high-tech and everything.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we missed. I have some pretty good news and gossip, so maybe I'll just go ahead and jump into that.
Sure.
AfterBuzz
wait.
TV News.
Just kidding.
China.
Yes.
China
Let's
White.
talk about this because I thought she was a Black Canary imposter.
No, but
or-
she had the white hair. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
wait, I don't know.
But she had like the Catwoman type black suit on. And what's really interesting about it is she saved Roy.
Yes. So that gets me thinking, okay, so they were, you know, this, mob group
Right.
that was going on that was, you know, fighting in the beginning of the season.
Right.
Well, now that the Glades are gone and everybody's kind of run amok, I wonder if they're trying to kind of go more on the vigilante side to kind of straighten things out and get rid of these people that are just kind of these like wannabe like people looters and things like
Right.
that, just to kind of, because even in that kind of world you have to have some sort of sense of order. They have to kind of take back and get their respect level back. So
True.
I'm wondering if they're trying to, not necessarily doing good for the city or for the other people,
Right.
but for their own organization. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Like, I wonder if that's kind of what's going on there.
Okay, because the reason it didn't make sense to me at first is because of the fact that it in a sense was a good deed, because here's Roy again trying to take on people he can't handle, save this girl who's about to be, I don't know, raped or killed or
Yeah.
anything else possible, and she comes and saves him. She didn't have to do that. She could have just let Roy.
Right.
Like, what benefit was that for her to save him?
But that's what I'm thinking, you know, because they and within themselves need to have their status back. They need to be feared. They need to handle whatever bad business they're handling. And when you have all these crazy looters and people running amok, it's not, there's no order. And even in, you know, the kind of underworld, you still have to have, you know,
Some sort of hierarchy.
Yeah, there has to be
But
order.
I guess you know what else threw me off is because I did read somewhere that there is going to be somebody else playing the Black Canary that is not Laurel, and I don't know if that means that she's like the segue into it, but not the real one. But the actress that's supposed to be playing is Katie Lotz, and then Laurel will eventually go into that journey later, is what I read. Interesting, right?
Maybe, yeah. But they're not, you know, since they're doing things in such a different way. So,
Right.
I mean, we'll see. But that's
don't
just kind of,
know.
that's the only reason why I'm thinking that China could have came back and done that good deed. Not for anybody other than a selfish reason.
Right.
Because, I mean, she sees that he's kind of tried to restore a little bit of order. So why would she hurt him, hurt these, like, idiots that are just,
Right.
they're kind of little thug kids that do, hey, wait a minute, that's not how you act.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So we'll see. Okay, we can
Now
get
let's
back
go
to
into
music.
some news.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so a lot of my news actually does have to do with people that are going to be on the show in the future. So I'm just going to kind of peek at my notes. One person is Glee alum Grant Gustin, who's landed the role of Flash, aka Barry Allen. I am not sure what episode that he will be coming up, but he will be playing that character in particular. Also, episode 20 is what I have. So that's in the very far future. Also, let's see who else is going to be showing up. Adam Donner, who's going to be playing Dylan Bruce, a.k.a. Orphan Black's Hot Paul, is what I have written down here. And then Summer Glau, who will be... Oh, she played Isabella tonight. That's who that character was that we were kind of iffy about. And then who else do I have? Michael Jai White, who will be playing Bronze Tiger, member of the Suicide Squad. So... It says that the fanboys can rest easy as Arrow's executive producer, Mark Guggenheim, promises that Bronze Tiger is a really great representation of the DC Comics character. The Bronze Tiger and his alter ego, Ben Turner, make their debut in Arrow's second episode. So that will be next week.
Awesome.
Also, this is the good, juicy stuff, ladies and guys who just want to feel like, Stephen Amell. Anyways, I love you. Don't hate. But I came across this picture, and it is Stephen Amell while he was on his 3-month hiatus. So if our engineer would like to pull it up on the screen, you will see, because it's quite the transformation. I did make an observation. Oh, there we go. So the first picture on your left would be him looking just a little bit more fluffy. Apparently, while he was on his 3-month hiatus, he was enjoying himself. Can't blame him. He deserved it. And then once he saw that picture online, he felt the need to work out, get buff again, take a picture. And then if I have the quote, it says, "Oh, no filter. It was important to enjoy my hiatus, but the picture on the left can go F itself." So, F you for posting it. But we're glad to see that he is back to his washboard ab self. I will say, Kelly and I were talking about it, and I was making mention of the fact that I felt like this first episode he looked a little bit softer, and I feel like it's because he's coming back from this hiatus. But from a character stance also, too, he's been on the island for this entire time with no need to be in super duper condition, because really all he's doing there is just surviving. He's not there to fight anybody.
Right.
So it makes sense.
Totally
It works
makes
with the storyline.
I can tell you, I was lucky enough. I saw him for a quick second at the Emmys. Unfortunately, I didn't get to talk to him and kind of like got away from me. But he looked super cute. He actually showed up by himself, a little lost. I wanted to run over and help him find his way, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But he was looking hot and buff and all that good stuff. So
The guys are like, Kelly, we don't care.
he
That's
really
awesome.
was. You guys care.
That's for our ladies. Sorry, guys. We will do our best to go find, what is it? Katie Cassidy? Did I say her name right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We'll do our best to try to find some cute pictures of her just for all you gentlemen out there. Keep it nice and balanced in our after show. Anyhow, so that is our news and gossip for this week. Let's get into some predictions.
Yep.
I'm going to pawn the predictions off on you first.
AfterBuzz TV.
Yes! Because you know what I'm going to say.
Okay. Felicity and Oliver are so not getting together.
Yes, they are.
Okay, they probably will because I keep saying no. But I think it's going to take a little while before the Arrow really comes full force. I think he's going to have to do whatever he needs to do. I mean, we saw from the previews that, China White's going to be around. We've now, with your news, have got this new Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And so we got to figure out what that's all about. But I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult where he is going to need the help of Felicity and Diggle a lot more than we saw last season. And I want to see them be a team. And I'm really curious to see how Roy is going to play a part in that and when we're going to see him become Speedy.
Right.
And when he's going to find out that, or kind of join,
Right.
Oliver's squad.
Right.
Because he's going off on his own. He's either going to get himself really badly hurt and then kind of transition over
Right.
again, or, he's going to kind of like nicely fall in. But I think that Thea's going to find out pretty soon.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Well,
I
that would
think
be kind
so.
of interesting.
I think so. I think she's going to find out pretty soon, and she might be the link to link those two boys up.
That would be actually really awesome. And we did hear that her nickname was Speedy as well, too. So I know last season we were kind of contemplating who was really going to be the
And
Speedy.
I
if there's
read
two
something
Speedies.
over the hiatus that there will not be two.
Ah.
That there won't be two. And she will not be one, is what I
She
read.
pawns off her nickname on him.
Maybe, or they kind of, I don't know how they're gonna transition that, but I had read that there were not going to be two. That it was going to be him, but it wasn't going to be her.
I
So
feel
that's
like
just why I think she may find out first and kind of link them up, and then maybe it'll kind of, segue that way.
Right.
But we'll see.
Here's my prediction. I feel like sometime in the future, Officer Lance, because he is in the position that he's in, and now he's taken down a few notches a little bit, and obviously out for the good of the city, and being that he did work hand in hand a little bit with the vigilante towards the very end of season 1, I think that he's going to cross over and somehow become more help and start getting involved in whatever the Arrow is doing now, as far as, I don't know, not seeing him in a totally different light and not being so angry at him, but more so trying to help him and maybe work alongside with him.
And that could cause a rift between he and Laurel.
Absolutely.
Especially because
Absolutely.
now because it's kind of flipped. And now she's going to go hardcore.
Yes.
After the Arrow.
Yes. Oh, and in my prediction, when I was talking about Felicity and Oliver, because you guys are probably so sick and tired of me going back over and over that, but my substantial hardcore evidence is when they did the swingy thing out of the window and then into the building again, and she was in the broken glass, and he waved her hair out of her face, and I was like, are you okay?
He just wanted to make sure her face was
They had a moment. They had a moment. All right, so that looks like tonight's show. Thank you so much for joining us again this season. We're really excited to be back, so thank you. And we will see you again next week for another exciting episode of Arrow.
Where can we find you?
Oh, we can find me at Kiss My Passport. Where can we find you, Kelly?
You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Kelly with an IE079.
And of course, you can also follow AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV and continue the conversation there as well. Until then, we will see you next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.